It was a bright Monday afternoon. Chuka, a 28-year-old hard-working and honest young man, had just closed from the mechanic workshop where he worked for a man who pays him monthly. Tired but happy, he walked home through the busy streets of Enugu. Life was tough, but he had dreams of opening his own workshop one day. As he approached a bus stop, a well-dressed man in a suit rushed toward him, looking worried. "Please, brother," the man said, panting. "My phone just died, and I need to make an urgent call. Can I please use your phone for just a minute?" Chuka, though surprised, didn't hesitate. He believed in helping others. "Sure, no problem," he replied with a kind smile, handing over his small Infinix phone. The man walked a few steps away, dialed a number, spoke in hushed tones, then returned the phone. "God bless you, brother. You've saved my life," he said and hurried away. Chuka felt good. He didn't know that this single act of kindness would destroy everything he loved. Chuka reached home, heart full of joy. He found Amaka, heavily pregnant, smiling warmly. His mother, seated nearby, watched lovingly. He hugged Amaka, kissed her forehead, and knelt to greet his mother. Peace filled the room. Laughter echoed. Love lived there. But fate was silently preparing its storm. 1 week later, Chuka was under a car in the workshop, fixing a gearbox, when 2 police vans pulled up. Officers jumped out, guns ready. "Are you Chuka Okafor?" one asked harshly. "Yes sir, I am." "Any problem?" "You are under arrest for fraud and criminal deception," another officer barked, snapping handcuffs on him before he could understand what was going on. Chuka's heart raced. "What? Fraud? Me? I don't understand." The officers didn't allow explanations. They pushed him into the van like a criminal. Chuka was thrown into a dirty, dark cell. The stench of sweat, urine, and hopelessness filled the air. He tried to explain. "I don't know anything about a scam," he pleaded. The police officers laughed. "That's what they all say. You think we're stupid." They showed him the victim's statement. A man named Chief Lawrence had been scammed of 30 million naira for a property that does not exist. The call that directed him to pay into a certain account came from Chuka's number. Chuka broke into tears. "God, what have I done?" Chief Lawrence, who was not just any victim. He was a wealthy and powerful businessman with friends in high places. When he realized he was scammed, his pride was wounded. He used his influence to make sure the caller was punished severely. "Make him rot in jail," he ordered. "No bail, no lawyer, nothing. Let him suffer." Despite Chuka's cries for help, his innocence didn't matter. The rich man had spoken. Chuka's mother and his heavily pregnant wife, Amaka, began to worry. He never stayed out without informing them. Days passed. No call. No trace. They went to his mechanic shop but couldn't find him. They searched the entire neighborhood but there was no news of him. They visited hospitals, checked with his boss, asked neighbors. Nothing. They went to the police, filed a missing person report. A week later, they were told the case had been closed. "Your son is probably hiding or ran away," the officer said coldly. Mama Chuka and Amaka cried bitterly, begging the police officers to please help them find Chuka. Mama said, "I know Chuka. He would never run away from his family." Amaka cried every night. She would sit by the door, holding Chuka's old shirt and whispering, "Where are you, my love?" Mama Chuka would fast and pray endlessly. She cried to God, to the sky, to the walls, begging for her son's return. "Please God, don't take my son, please bring him back home," she sobbed. "He's all I have." But no answer came. One rainy evening, Amaka went into labor. Mama Chuka rushed to the neighborhood under the rain but couldn't get anybody. There was no one to rush her to the hospital. The pain was too much. Her cries filled the small house. Mama Chuka ran to the streets and found a Kiki man about to go home. She knelt down under the rain and begged the man, "Please take my daughter-in-law to the hospital. She's in labor and in great pains, but there is nobody to take her to the hospital." Abina, the KK driver drenched by the rain, decided to help Mama Chuka and Amaka. Unfortunately, by the time they could arrive the house, Amaka has given birth, but the baby didn't cry. It was stillborn. Minutes later, Amaka stopped breathing too. Mama Chuka fell to the ground in shock, wailing. The pain was too much for her old heart. She collapsed and died beside them. 3 bodies. 1 house. 3 lives gone. Abina became confused. He froze for some minutes and couldn't move. He called his friend to come and help him take their bodies to the hospital. He took them to the hospital and explained everything to them to see if the doctors could save any of them. But unfortunately, Mama Chuka and Amaka, including the baby, were gone. Chuka had no idea that his mother, wife and baby were gone. He was in prison, tortured, starved, and accused every day. He prayed and cried, his voice echoing in the darkness. "God, I only led my phone. Why am I here?" The walls gave no answer. Hope faded. He felt like a ghost. Days became months. Months became years. Chuka's skin grew pale. His dreams died slowly. He stopped talking. He stopped crying. He was a walking corpse. Honorable Natasha, a fearless human rights activist, visited the prison. She had made it her mission to find and free innocent people locked away by the powerful. She saw Chuka and asked, "What are you doing here?" He looked at her with empty eyes and whispered, "I gave my phone to a stranger." Natasha took interest. She gathered every detail. She met Chief Lawrence, got the account number the scammer provided, and began to investigate. She traced the account. It didn't belong to Chuka. It belonged to a man already wanted for internet fraud. The scammer was caught. He confessed everything. "I used that man's phone on purpose. I knew he'd take the blame. He looked too poor to fight back." Natasha recorded the confession. She took it to court. Justice rises with the new evidence. The court reopened Chuka's case. After 6 painful years, he was declared innocent. He was free. Chuka ran home, full of hope. But what he found was a broken, abandoned house. Neighbors told him everything. Amaka, the baby, his mother. He screamed louder than he ever had in prison. The sound of grief shook the neighborhood. Chief Lawrence heard the news. Guilt hit him like thunder. He rushed to Chuka's house, knelt before him, and wept. "I destroyed your life. Please, forgive me. I didn't know," he cried. Chuka was silent. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Chief Lawrence gave Chuka a new house, a new car, and made him the manager of one of his companies. Chuka started working again, but nothing could fill the hole in his heart. Every night, he sat by the window, holding Amaka's photo. "I'm sorry I wasn't there. I should have known better," he whispered. The pain never left. The memories haunted him. "Don't give strangers your phone to make calls. It may look small, but it can cost you everything," he told young people. Chuka lived on. He helped many. He became a symbol of truth and strength. But every time he passed a woman with a baby, tears filled his eyes. Every time he heard a voice like his mother's, his chest tightened. The world saw a hero. But deep inside, he was a broken man who had once made a simple, kind choice. And it cost him everything.